Imagine a king so powerful, so adored, that his people called him the Great Ancestor, a ruler who reigned for an astonishing 66 years, leaving behind more statues and temples than any other pharaoh in history. This isn't a character from a fantasy novel. This is the story of a real man, a legend carved in stone, Ramesses the Great. His story isn't just about pyramids and golden treasures. It's a tale of epic battles, a love story that defied tradition, and a legacy that has fascinated the world for over 3,000 years. But who was the man behind the myth? Was he a brilliant military strategist, a master propagandist, or a devoted family man? The answer is all of them. In 1881, a discovery was made that sent shockwaves through the world of archaeology. A hidden tomb, a secret cache of royal mummies. And among them lay the perfectly preserved body of the great pharaoh himself. For the first time, we could look upon the face of the man who challenged the Hittite Empire. The man who built colossal monuments like Abu Simbel. The man who was worshipped as a living god. Today, we're going to unwrap the bandages of history and reveal the incredible life of Ramses II, from his first breath to his final journey into the afterlife. Stay with us as we travel back in time to the Golden Age of Egypt. Ramses II was born around 1303 BC, into a family that was rewriting the rules of power in Egypt. His grandfather, Ramses I, was a commoner, a military man who founded a new dynasty, the 19th dynasty. This meant young Ramses wasn't just born into royalty, he was born into a family that had to prove its right to rule. His father, Seti I, was a formidable pharaoh in his own right, and he saw the potential in his son from a very early age. While most children were playing, a young Ramses was being groomed for greatness. By the age of 10, he held the title of captain of the army. By 14, his father officially named him Prince Regent, making him co-ruler of the most powerful empire on earth. Imagine that, a teenager sharing the throne of Egypt. Seti I took him on military campaigns to Libya and Palestine, teaching him not just how to fight, but how to lead. These were not theoretical lessons. This was hands-on training in the brutal reality of ancient warfare and politics. It was during this time that Ramses also met the love of his life, In ancient Egypt, royal marriages were often political alliances, but the bond between Ramses and Nefertari was legendary. Kadesh, the one for whom the sun shines. She wasn't just his great royal wife, she was his trusted advisor and companion. Her influence and importance are immortalized in the stunning temple he built for her at Abu Simbel, right next to his own, a testament to a love that would echo through eternity. In 1279 BC, Seti I died and Ramses, at around 24 years old, ascended to the throne as the sole ruler of Egypt. His formal name was Usermata Setepina, but to the world, he would become Ramses the Great. He didn't waste a moment. His reign began with a flurry of activity. He immediately launched ambitious building projects across the entire kingdom. He didn't just build new temples. He expanded existing ones, often carving his own name and image over those of previous pharaohs. It was a bold statement. Egypt was now his, and its history would be rewritten in his image. But his greatest challenge lay to the north. The powerful Hittite Empire was a rival superpower, and the two empires were locked in a struggle for control of the strategic lands of Syria. The flashpoint was a city called Kadesh. In the 5th year of his reign, 1274 BC, Ramses marched his army of over 20,000 men to confront the Hittite king, Muwatalli. This would become the most famous battle of his life. The Battle of Kadesh is one of the best documented events in ancient history, largely because Ramses himself made sure of it. According to his account, which he had carved on temple walls all over Egypt, he was ambushed and surrounded. The Hittites had sprung a clever trap. With his army scattered and facing certain defeat, Ramses prayed to the god Amen. Filled with divine strength, he single-handedly charged the enemy chariots 6 times, turning the tide of the battle and snatching a glorious victory from the jaws of defeat. It's a thrilling story, but it's probably not the whole truth. Hittite records tell a different story, one of a tactical stalemate, not a decisive Egyptian victory. Most modern historians believe the battle was likely a draw, but that didn't matter to Ramses. he was a master of propaganda. He returned to Egypt and portrayed the battle as his personal, heroic triumph. This narrative cemented his image as a warrior pharaoh, a divine protector of Egypt, chosen by the gods. Despite the bravado, the conflict with the Hittites dragged on for years. Finally, around 1258 BC, something unprecedented happened. Ramses II and the new Hittite king, Atusilitar III, decided that endless war was benefiting no one. They negotiated and signed the world's first known international peace treaty. A copy, inscribed on a silver tablet, was sent to Egypt, and Ramses had the text carved into the walls of the Karnak temple for all to see. This treaty wasn't just an end to hostilities. It was a pact of mutual defense. The two great empires became allies, and to seal the deal, Ramses even married a Hittite princess. The warrior pharaoh had become a diplomat. With peace secured, Ramses could focus on his true passion, building. His reign marks the most prodigious building period in Egyptian history. He founded a new capital city in the Nile Delta, called Pi-Ramesses, which was said to be a magnificent city of palaces, temples, and military barracks. He completed the great hypostyle hall at Karnak, a breathtaking forest of 134 massive columns. He built his own mortuary temple, the Ramesseum, which housed a colossal granite statue of himself that weighed over 1,000 tons. But his crowning achievement is arguably the twin temples of Abu Simbel, carved directly into a mountainside in Nubia. The larger temple is dedicated to Ramses, with 4 gigantic statues of him seated on his throne, guarding the entrance. Twice a year, on February 22nd and October 22nd, Terraicine Sunes rays penetrate the temple's stark interior to illuminate the statues of the gods and of Ramses himself, a feat of architectural and astronomical genius. The smaller temple is dedicated to his beloved Nefertari, depicted as the goddess Hathor. It's a breathtaking monument to both his power and his love. Ramses wasn't just a builder. He was a family man. He had numerous wives and is believed to have fathered over 100 children, maybe more than 50 sons and 50 daughters. This wasn't just a personal matter. It was a political strategy. His many children served as high priests, officials, and army commanders, creating a loyal network that secured his family's grip on power throughout the vast empire. He outlived many of them, including his first 12 sons. His eventual successor, Merneptah, was his 13th son and was already an old man when he finally took the throne. Ramses lived to be over 90 years old, an almost unheard of age in the ancient world. His 66-year reign provided Egypt with a long period of stability and prosperity, a true golden age. When he finally died in 1213 BC, he had ruled longer than almost any other pharaoh. His body was mummified and buried in the Valley of the Kings. But his story doesn't end there. His tomb was looted in antiquity, and priests later moved his mummy to a series of secret locations to protect it from further desecration, eventually placing it in that hidden royal cache discovered in 1881. In the 1970s, his mummy began to deteriorate. In a remarkable twist of history, the ancient pharaoh was issued a modern Egyptian passport and flown to Paris for treatment. Scientists and historians were given an unparalleled opportunity to study him. They discovered he likely had red hair, stood about 5 feet 7 inches tall, and suffered from severe arthritis and dental problems in his old age. He was a real person, with real ailments, who had lived an extraordinary life. Today, the mummy of Ramses the Great rests in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. People from all over the world can gaze upon the face of the man who battled the Hittites, who loved Nefertari, who built Abu Simbel, and who ruled Egypt as a living god for over 6 decades. He was a warrior, a builder, a diplomat, a lover, and a legend. His name, carved in stone and papyrus, has survived for over 3 millennia, ensuring that the world would never forget the legacy of Ramesses the Great. Thanks for joining us on this journey back to ancient Egypt. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more stories from history. We'll see you next time.